Dobar dan I dobrodošli. Sit down and relax as we are about to read some manga I've had my eyes on for a while. I recommend opening the official scans or translations linked in the description and reading along with me, since my streams will obscure the pages for copyright reasons and because I want to support the creators behind the works. You can find me on my socials that are linked in the description, so subscribe to or follow some European chick outside of YouTube if you want to get to know me better or support me. Now without further ado, let's read. Chainsaw Man, Body Stories. Now, I know that I haven't streamed last time. The new chapter of Chainsaw Man Part 2 dropped. I haven't read it yet. I will read it next Tuesday when we have 2 chapters that we can read all at once. Today, we're actually going to look at the short stories that came out after Part 1. And they're about, Denji, Power, Aki, and so on. And about friendship, right? They're all partners, they're all buddies of the 4th division. And we're going to read that. I'm going to be in Big Elder mode all the while. Because unlike with the comics, where I can censor the visible part, so you can only see like 50% of the page, but at least you know on what page I am. I can't do that really with the book. I'm just gonna read it. It's gonna be like an audiobook. I don't know if I can do that, but I'll do that. This is in German, so I won't be reading from this book. Hi, welcome everyone. I won't be reading from this German version. I just want to show it to you what it looks like so we can get that out of the way. This is the book, Body Stories, Chainsaw Man. This is the back side. And it even has, I didn't even know that. It has a little poster. It's, oh my fucking. It's, can I actually rip it out? I want to rip it out. So I want to rip it out. Maybe it's not meant to be ripped out. It's really hard to do. But this is Kwangshi and, fuck me. And, what was his name again? What was his name again? Mads Mikkelsen. Jeffrey M. Hello, Elda. Can I marry you? Thank you. Kishibe. Yes. Kishibe. Thank you. So it's them. The 2 of them. Oh god, that's gonna be tragic. One-sided love and one of them is homosexual. Well, at least it's the other way around for once, Usually it's like, the tragedy of homosexual love is you can't fall for it. Everyone, they could be straight. In fact, a large portion of the population is straight, so your crush could be one-sided forever just because you're the wrong sex for your crush. It's a tragedy, but this time we have it the other way around, and we love lesbians. And this is, oh fuck. The reflection. Yeah. It's the aquarium thing. Let me see. The date is the 12th of June. And something that never happened. Hello again. Hi, Toji. Hi. Am I offline or what? What happened? Did something happen? Oh, it just spammed it. Okay. Okay, I thought I was offline. Don't scare me like that. And then this is the first page in black and white. I hate this. Because whatever I can show you, I will show you. Here you have, a character profile and what happened so far, I guess. Yeah, the story in Chainsaw Man. And then we're already at the first chapter, but there are some uh, some pictures in there. I'm gonna show them all once they appear, but I will be reading from my phone. Okay? And if you want to read along, the link is in the description. Okay. Now let's start. Is this the buddy stories? Yes. Thank you for reading the title. Alright. Chapter 1, Buddy Stories. Detective Power and her assistant Denji. Alright. Should I read the character pages? Nah, we know the characters, we know the story. We don't need to go. Actually, I'm curious what they write here. Now, for Denji, it says a young man / chainsaw devil. See, this helps my hybrid theory so much because we said Makima is like the control devil, but I said she's a hybrid. But then why is she called the control devil? Well, because she is that, and here Denji is called the chainsaw devil. Human / chainsaw devil. Like, it doesn't matter how characters are being called, whether they're called the chainsaw devil, the control devil, the war devil. It, like, that name can apply just for the devil part of them that inhabits their body, okay? Anyway. A young man / chainsaw devil who carries his partner Puchta inside him. He's always true to his desires. He is. Likes Makima, the first person to ever treat him like a human being. It's kind of sad, but yeah. Puchta, chainsaw devil, gave up his heart to Denji, becoming part of his body. Then Makima, the mysterious woman in charge of public safety. Of Public Safety Devil Extermination Special Division 4. Okay. Knows devils by their scent. Important. Aki. Makima's loyal subordinate and Denji's senior in public safety by 3 years. We have Aki's age here. What? What? Has he just been in public safety for 3 years? Or is he 3 years older than Denji? Like, in what regard is he his seniors? Is he Denji's senior by 3 years? Is it his age? Because Denji's like 15 there. I thought Aki was like 24 or something. Fuck. Damn. Well, that makes his and Himeno's relationship a little different. I thought he was close in age to Himeno. Maybe Himeno is also like maybe 20 or something. Now I'm confused. Like, I was so convinced that he's like 24 and Himeno is like 25 or 26 or 27 at most. Now I'm a little Okay, if Denji now it can't be. He can't be 19 if Denji is 16 in the story. Because he started smoking as soon as he wasn't like as soon as it was legal for him to smoke. Which means he must be past 20. So I'm gonna assume he's Denji's senior by 3 years when it comes to the job. Okay. So he's been in public safety for 3 years longer than Denji has been. That's why he's his senior by 3 years. Because it's impossible. He said, when Himeno offered him the cigarette, he said, I'm not legal, which means he needs to be 20 and older. I think. Wait, now I'm confused. Legal smoking age Japan. 20, yeah. So when he turned 20, he took that cigarette. And then at least 1 year passed. He must be like 22. Like 22 perhaps. Okay, so he's 22. And Himeno being 26 or whatever, that's legal. Okay, that's okay. Ship can sail. Then power. Blood devil fiend. Egotistical and prone to being out of control. Her cat Meowie is her only friend. Himeno, Aki's work senior and partner. Contracted with the ghost devil. Quan Shi. An assassin from China who's after Denji. Used to be Kishibe's partner and supposedly the strongest humanity has to offer. Ooh, okay. Kishibe. A man with extraordinary fighting ability in the special division. The strongest devil hunter. Denji and Power's instructor. Story. Denji was a small-time devil hunter just trying to survive in a harsh world. After being killed on a job, he is revived by his pet devil Pochita and becomes something new and dangerous, Chainsaw Man. After Denji buzzes through all his attackers, he is taken in by the mysterious Makima and begins a new life as a public safety devil hunter. Makima assigns him to the team led by her subordinate Aki Hayakawa and partners him with the blood devil fiend, Power. Denji and Power live at Aki's house and spend their days hunting devils. Denji's instructor, Kishibe, puts him through hell, calling it training, and Denji finds himself fighting all kinds of devils, fiends, and even other devil hunters. Brutal violence claims the lives of his friends one after another. Finally, Denji confronts the gun devil, killer of Aki's family, whereabouts heretofore unknown, but even that showdown turns out to be part of another grander scheme. Okay. Other pose for thumbnail. Maybe let me pose with the book. Like this? I don't know. Their peace sign. That was it for the pose. Smile. I did smile. Shut up. Okay. Hello? Oh my god. Okay, now we're starting with chapter 1. The Great Detective Power and her assistant Denji. 8 individuals gathered in a dilapidated theater long after closing time. They sat in the front row, glancing around and shifting uncomfortably. A spotlight erupted from the stage, blinding them. I see you all accepted my invitation. Excellent. Thank you so much for coming, said a man in a tuxedo and silk top hat. His voice reverberated through the theater and he seemed to float in the light. He flashed the befuddled spectators a smile. We've got a very special show for you tonight. One we think you'll enjoy right to the bitter end. Assistant, the picture, if you would. I'm on it, called a young man in baggy shorts from the back of the theater. As images began to flicker across the screen, the man on stage gestured broadly. I'm sure you're familiar with the film Soul Survivor, as all of you were in the cast. It's an ensemble piece in which masked characters vanish one by one. But alas, one person went beyond acting and disappeared for real. The film became a mystery, if you will, a missing persons case. One even I struggled to solve. The man paused to pull a magnifying glass from his pocket. It was a riddle, an enigma. Yes, this stage is thick with the heady scent of mystery. But there's a turn to every trick, a sleight to every hand. Observation, my friends, observation is the door to the truth. The man whirled to capture the audience in his magnifying glass. The fiendish creator of that puzzle is among us tonight. His lips curled at the hubbub. This set off in the audience. He produced a rope tied into a large knot. I've undone the knot of the mystery. He tugged gently on either side of the rope, drawing it apart until the knot unraveled. Someone gasped. The man on stage tossed the rope over. Oh, I can't fucking read. The man on stage tossed the rope overhead, where it transformed into a cane. He caught the cane effortlessly and twirled it to and fro. It stopped abruptly, pointing into the audience. You are the culprit. Hey, no response. Hey, Power. Still no response. Power, I'm talking to you. Power was glued to the television from where she was sitting. She could have taken a bite out of it, and oblivious to the boy, roughly shaking her by the shoulders. At last, she turned to look at the scruffy blonde street punk scowling down at her. She scowled right back and tossed her head, brandishing her blood-red horns. What do you want, Denji? They just got to the good part, and I'll thank you to stay out of the way. You're the one who needs to get out of the way, Power. You're blocking the signal from the remote. Move back so I can change the channel. Denji grumbled. Cute. I won't allow it. Power turned back to the TV, but it was harder to ignore the hands shaking her. I said move. Denji continued shaking her. I've got things to watch too, you know. You? Scoffed Power. What would you watch? The news, Denji said. Did you watch the news? How mature. The news, Denji said. The news? Power burst out laughing. Why, because you resemble a police sketch? Don't make me laugh. Okay. Cram it, Denji said sheepishly. The one anchor chick is hot. I should have known. I should have known. Of course it's because of the anchor chick. Ah, yes, you've mentioned her. Power knew an angle when she found one. The one who looks a bit like Makima, right? Well, that's just stupid. I don't wish to be part of anything stupid. Sure, Power. Power's brutal honesty was too much for Denji. He shot back, okay, what's the supposedly great thing you're watching? How ignorant can you be? That's Detective Magician. Detective Magician? Correct, Power breamed. He's a brilliant sleuth who can solve any mystery. Solved, Detective Magician, Secret Tricks, and Just Plain Secrets was a primetime anime. Primetime anime about an unassuming teenager who moonlighted as both a flamboyant stage magician and a detective who tackled cases of every kind. He didn't like solving mysteries so much as he liked being the center of attention. He adored the admiring gazes and showers of applause he got every time a case closed. Attention, applause, admiration. Power could identify with wanting those things. The blood fiend rose, studying the room intently. Aha! The criminal is here, she announced, pointing at Meowie. So cute. Wait, what? Ah, she announced, pointing at Meowie. Here? Denji said, following Power's accusatory digit right through Meowie to himself. I've undone the knot of this mystery. The culprit is you, Denji. Me? What did I do wrong? A fine question. You don't know what you're accusing me of? Ah, I just now remembered. You, Power declared, are the foul criminal who ate all the ice cream out of the freezer. You ate it yesterday. What's that? I ate no ice cream. Denji backed away. This is getting weird. Then he started laughing and clutching his stomach. You had me going there, dumbass. Detective Magician. That's a cartoon for kids. How dare you mock Detective Magician? Show some respect. Power sprang at Denji, who instinctively struck back. The two of them were alike in impulsiveness, if nothing else. An unfortunate curtain, caught in the melee, was torn off its rod, and jars of spices toppled from the counter. Denji and Power tumbled back against the dinner table, still struggling. I'm struggling with my back here. Keep it down, I'm on the phone! A man leaned in from the next room, covering a receiver with his hand. Says the biggest mouth in this place, Denji snapped. Let this be a lesson to you, Topknot, said Power. Silence is golden. I couldn't be Aki. I just could. That's insane. Where was I? She and Denji kept their grips on one another's lapels. Aki hung up the phone and confronted them with a stormy look. Arms crossed and stands wide, he commanded, Don't talk back. This is my house. Sit down right where you are, and I don't want to hear another peep out of either of you. Denji and Power glanced at each other without enthusiasm. They plopped down and crossed their legs. Yes, sir. You can control them. Okay, Aki. Topknot is making an awful fuss, Power muttered. First off, no fighting in the house, said Aki. Second, address me with respect. How long will it take you to learn manners? Bleh, said Denji. Why the hell should we respect you? What do we get out of it? You will have to advance a couple of pay grades before you earn respect, Power added. Aki spared a rueful glance for the spices on the floor, then muttered, So that's how it is. Okay, Denji, no dinner for you. Hey, what the hell, dude? Power chortled. That's what you get for mocking the great detective magician. And Power, for your dinner, it's carrot and burdock root salad. Huh? An empty stomach was Denji's mortal enemy, and vegetables were Power's. The owner of the house was well aware of his charge's weaknesses. Aki to Power and Denji, no running in the halls, yeah. Oh, Hayakawa, respected senior hunter, Denji mewed. Respected senior hunter, Power added. Both troublemakers shifted to kneel politely with their feet tucked in. Aki gave a profound sigh. Get on over to public safety. Miss Makima is asking for you. Devils, creatures born from fear, existed to terrorize humans. Public safety's role was to exterminate them, and the epicenter of anti-devil activity was the Public Safety Devil Extermination Special Division, where Power and Denji worked. The red-tinted sunlight slanting through the office windows did nothing to dispel the tension that suffused the department. I can't fucking read. This is no audiobook. A woman with elegant features sat framed in the light. It's been 10 days since you moved in with Hayakawa, my dear Power, she said. How are the three of you getting along? Her tone was casual, yet her voice pierced to the heart. Denji's and Power's superior, Makima, reported directly to the chief cabinet secretary. She wielded an inexhaustible air of authority, had eyes that seemed to pin anything caught in her gaze, and exuded a strange chill that froze one to the bone. In spite of herself, Power always tensed up in Makima's presence. I love that. I love that description. We're, great. Yup. Getting along swimmingly. Power nodded ferociously, avoiding Makima's eyes. Beside her, Denji pointed gleefully. Miss Makima, wait till you hear this. She doesn't bathe. Like, ever. Ew. David! Hi! Thank you. I wish Aki was my mom. Say. He's such a good mom, too. You liar! I've been bathing every 3 days on the dot, Power spat back. And she never flushes her poop. I do, about half the time. It ought to be all the time. May I get a word in? Makima purred. Power reflexively sat straightened up. We have a devil hunting request, and I thought I might send you two. Oh, Power stammered. I have an urgent meeting that day. What? It is definitely not Power's fault. Yeah. She can do no harm. She is never at fault. You'll notice I haven't provided a date or details yet, Power, Makima said with a faint smile. She slid some papers out of a large manila envelope. The request comes from an entrepreneur in the hospitality industry. He has an isolated property up in the mountains, and it seems people have disappeared from it. People disappearing? Power whispered to herself. Denji raised his hand. And you think a devil did it? Exactly. At least there's a strong chance. We don't have any clear descriptions, though, so it's still something of a mystery. A mystery. Power's mouth twitched. Makima leaned her elbows on the table and gave them a pointed look. I know I've mentioned more than once that Public Safety's Devil Extermination Special Division 4 is an experimental unit. The moment the higher-ups don't think it's pulling its weight, they'll axe this operation. Me, I'd like to see more of what the two of you can do. Think you can show me? Denji felt a pounding in his chest so hard it practically squeezed a woof out of him. Denji, my boy, has no self-respect to speak of. Leave it to me. I'm gonna kick this mystery's ass. I mean, I'll solve the hell out of it. I'm sure you will, Denji. And you, Power? Makima turned her ice-cold gaze on the fiend. Power was caught off guard and in no mood to be agreeable. Sure, I'll do it. As she turned the situation over in her mind, however, her enthusiasm rose. Pumping a fist in the air, she cried, A mystery! A missing persons case, even! The perfect chance for Detective Magician Power to strut her stuff. This is so cute. Makima cocked her head. Denji, looking more than thoroughly unenthused, said, Ignore her. She's geeking out over a detective cartoon for babies. Detective cartoon? Oh, that thing that's on TV every night. Well, Power, let's see if you can do as good a job as Detective Magician would, Makima said, smiling. Course I can, said Power, nodding vigorously. Her face flushed. In her mind, she could already see herself on a glittering stage, unveiling secrets to all and sundry, and basking in the adulation. Power and Denji were about to charge out of the room when Makima added, almost as an afterthought, By the way, they've called in some civilian devil hunters too. Try to get along, will you? First step to becoming president, of course, yeah. Yeah. By the way, this is just, like, a test stream. If no one's really interested in these buddy stories, maybe I won't continue reading them. But if enough people show up, we can finish the entire book. It's not just about people showing up, like, even after the stream. If enough people are interested, you know, if you hear this, just leave a like or a comment or something to let me know that you're interested in continuing these streams with the buddy stories. From the city center, the trip to the property took 2 hours by train, then an hour and a half on a bus. Oh my god. Then an hour on another bus. Then a half-hour hike up a mountain. Oh my god. Jokes on you, I already liked. Thank you. So kind of you. Damn, that's far away. When Makima... My back. When Makima had called their destination isolated, it had been an understatement. 3 days after the briefing, Denji and Power arrived, shoulders heaving. They collapsed into the tall grass. Ugh! Finally made it. Who'd want to stay out here in the boonies? You think you've got it bad? I had to tag along just to escort you two out of your patrol area. Aki took a drag from his cigarette. Alright, I'm going home. Don't get any bright ideas. You know what'll happen if you try to make a run for it. Denji and Power eyeballed their guardian. Damn right we know, said Denji. And like hell I'm running away. I promised Miss Makima I'd do her proud. And I'm gonna. Can't you trust your own roommates, Topknot? What a small, withered little heart you must have. If you want my trust, try getting a better attitude. Anyway, job's all yours, and I suggest you do it right. If you tarnish the good name of public safety, you'll get it from me. With that, Aki started back down the mountain. God, he never shuts up, does he? Denji said. He's a sad little man, said Power. That's so cute. Buddy Stories rock. Best spin-off ever, especially since we don't have any new chapter this Chainsaw Tuesday. Yeah. we can continue them before we go to the one-shots, the Fujimoto one-shots. And before we start with Fire Punch. Yeah, we're gonna be here until the end of next year. Feeling a little lighter after letting off steam about Aki, Power turned to their assignment. A wind blew over the mountain, carrying scents of grass and earth that reminded her of her time living in the wilderness with Miaoi. A large Western-style house rose behind a vine-choked gate. Its whitewashed walls stood out against the gloomy forest beyond. It almost looked like a painting. If a mystery was going to happen anywhere, it would happen here. We're gonna be here on some European chick forever. Sad. I forgot we don't have a chapter today, sad. Yeah, that's why I'm here with the buddy stories. It was a scene constructed for none other than the great detective Power. So this is where people have been disappearing, huh? Said Denji. Missing persons! Mystery! Truly, this is the place for me. Denji gave Power a funny look. I've been afraid to ask since we left the house, but what the hell are you wearing? What do you think? It's just like detective magicians. She tilted the top hat on her head at a jaunty angle and spun happily around. Suits me, doesn't it? I made Topknot buy it for me, and all I need to do in return is clean the bathroom for a month. Seriously, what? Gahahaha. You're right. Scouring like a servant is beneath me, but once I've done it, the hat is mine. This is so adorable. If you don't want to finish it all, at least skip to the Kishiben Quanshi story first, because I'm most interested in that one, LMAO. I'll think about it, but I want to read it all. Like, I want to know the characters better. All of them. And you're gonna go up against a devil in that thing? Denji looked incredulous. Even Makima thought it was a good idea. 'Twill hide my horns from these simple hill people. Whatever, not my problem. Denji didn't bother to get off the ground. Power, meanwhile, flung her fist towards the clear blue sky, cackling maniacally. Gahahaha, a case, a detective, an assistant, an audience, everything is prepared. I know what the case is and I see the detective, but who's the assistant? Why, you, of course, Denji. What? And there's the audience to acclaim my work, Pawa gestured to a group of about a dozen men congregating at the gate. They were probably the civilian devil hunters Makima had mentioned, but as far as Power was concerned, they were there to witness her extraordinary work and shower her with praise. One of the men loped toward them with a grim expression on his face. He wore a tracksuit and carried a long katana. My name's Kenzo, he said. I don't recognize you two. Don't tell me you're devil hunters too. Power put her hand on her hips, thrust out her chest, and announced, Indeed we are. I'm the great detective Power. Say what? Said Denji. And this is my assistant Denji. As Denji sputtered, the man's frown deepened. You've got to be kidding me. A couple of kids like you? What can you do? At last, Denji stood. I don't know who you are, but we're here to do a job, and do it damn well. So back off, Grandpa. Indeed we are, Grandpa. I'm 25, you brat. Oh no. Kenzo shook his fist. Listen up. This ain't a playground. You get in our way, there's gonna be serious trouble. He spat on the ground and strode off. What's his problem? Denji muttered. Don't mind him. He's just a spectator. As they spoke, the iron gate opened with a groan. I still can't get over the fact that they called the 25-year-old grandpa. As they spoke, the iron gate opened with a groan. To Power, it sounded like the fanfare at the beginning of an action movie. Another rush of glee ran through her. The man who appeared in the open gate, however, was a letdown. He was nothing like her outsized expectations, just a weathered, middle-aged man. He offered the devil hunters a deep bow. Thank you all for coming so far out of your way. I do hope you'll be able to help me. Denji would call us old. Yeah, he would. He would call me a grandma. But isn't Makima that age? What the fuck? Damn, my throat. After identifying himself as Mr. Kanbayashi, the man ushered everyone through the gate. As he led them in with slow, heavy steps, he spoke, sounding tired. This villa once belonged to a certain wealthy individual, he began, but they lost interest in vacationing up here and sold it to me. I renovated it into an inn where visitors could experience nature in its purest form. But at the soft opening, okay. One of the guests disappeared during the night, along with all my staff. That is mysterious. And you would never call the prettiest person on earth a grandma. Okay, Epi. Okay. We got it. Thank you. Oh, chat disappeared right now. Okay, now it's back. Kenzo interrupted. Just to be clear, are you sure they didn't run off on their own? That would very much surprise me. The only way out of here is the bus that stops at the foot of the mountain, and apparently none of them boarded it. Mr. Kanbayashi's voice grew grimmer with every word. Kenzo snorted. Sure sounds like the work of a devil then, doesn't it? Just what I thought, Mr. Kanbayashi nodded. If this isn't resolved, the inn is doomed. I hope that all of you together can find out what's behind these disappearances. A laugh arose from the group. Gahahaha. In the hands of the great detective Power, the knot of a mystery all but unravels itself. Don't you agree, assistant? I told you I'm not your assistant. Gazes profoundly suspicious of, or deeply concerned, turned toward the wild-eyed girl in the top hat, and the seedy-looking delinquent beside her. Why are they describing my boy like that? That is so rude. Power's mind automatically edited them into admiring looks of respect. Mr. Kanbayashi opened the heavy front door of the villa to reveal a spacious entry hall. A carved front desk awaited visitors, and two picture windows set high over the door let in the afternoon sunlight. A thin layer of dust covered the desk, betraying the fact that the inn hadn't seen visitors in some time. Mr. Kanbayashi showed the group a map. Seen from above, the building has the shape of a cross. The front desk is at the head of that cross. They proceeded along a red carpet and reached the crossing. Mr. Kanbayashi explained that guest rooms were to the left and a staff area to the right. The staff area was mostly empty at the moment, but it contained administrative offices and storage spaces, along with a kitchen stocked with staples and instant meals. Well, that's not nice. Yes, food! Denji exclaimed, lunging for the door. Damn, I think I got bit by a mosquito on my finger. It's so itchy. Power leapt after him. We feast! Smiling nervously, Mr. Kambayashi said, Please help yourselves. There's nothing fresh, only supplies that will keep. But I've ensured there's enough to feed all of you for several days. The party returned to the crossing and made their way to the lower section of the cross. Kenzo pointed to a small door as they passed it. Hey, where does that go? Ah, that's the power room. Mr. Kambayashi opened the door, revealing a cramped, dimly lit room crowded with a profusion of pipes and wires. In the dead center squatted a huge machine, presumably a generator. The floor trembled faintly with the hum of motors. I must ask you to stay out of this room, said Mr. Kambayashi. The machinery is quite expensive. Quickly he urged the group on. It's kind of suspicious, huh? We are all Chainsaw Man readers. I don't think we classify as normal anymore. Oh, because Captain said Denji would think we were weird because we are normal. Nah. Wait until you hear about Fire Punch readers. Oh no. I said that in a tweet that I realized that Fire Punch is actually the post-eclipse berserk that I was hoping for. That I've always wished for, that I was expecting when I got into Berserk. So, read Fire Punch. Berserk would be perfect if you had the Golden Age arc, and the same type of depth, messaging, development, and meaning as you had in Fire Punch. Anyway, let's get back. The tweet. Oh, thank you, Epi. I still wonder how you can just post things from some European chick, but it's because Epi is the manager, okay? He's the other part of the channel. It's me, the face, and Epi, the brains and bronze, okay? So that's why if you see something posted by some European chick, it could be Epi or it could be me. They continued down the long hallway until they abruptly emerged into an open space, the size of a gymnasium beneath a high vaulted ceiling. This, Mr. Kambayashi told them, was the recreation room. Near the entrance was a bar area with tables where guests could drink and chat. Farther along, the group could make out a pool table, a ping pong table, and a dartboard, among other amusements. Hugging one wall was a lavish, illuminated stage. Well done, said Power. You built a stage for my grand deduction. Berserk is for Nietzsche fans. Ugh. You're right. And Fire Punch is for Albert Camus fans. Yes. Well done, said Power. You built a stage for my grand deduction. No, said Mr. Kambayashi, waving her aside. That's for musical concerts, banquet entertainment, that sort of thing. The entire room is soundproofed, so the noise doesn't bother the other guests, no matter how boisterous it gets in here. I mean, understandable, but is that usual? Is that how it happens? Okay. Meanwhile, Denji had finally found something that interested him. Is that a pool table? You owe me a game, Power. Power sniffed, annoyed at being dismissed so casually. What a child you are, excited by the prospect of smacking balls together. Okay. I can't watch the stream today because of visa issues. But I hope you all have a good day today. Stay cool, Elda and Epi. You too, and good luck with the visa issues. Damn. Have a nice day. I'll bet you've never even played pool. Of course I have. Liar. Would I lie? I was the undefeated champion in a professional pool tournament. Not even. There's no OBS. Pipe down, you two, Kenzo shouted, a blue vein bulging on his forehead. Some of us are here to hunt devils. One of the other hunters patted him on the shoulder. Take it easy, Ken. Don't forget, we're not just getting the base pay this time. There's an incentive for bringing in results. Think of it this way. A couple of useless louts will just make our share bigger. You've got a point, Kenzo turned with a snort to examine the recreation room. What's on the far side over there? Ah, that area is still being refurbished. The group followed Mr. Kambayashi across the recreation room and into the unfinished area. A dark, narrow passageway stretched beyond the doorway. A few yards in, it turned a corner, then another. The group stuck close to the wall, feeling their way along. Damn. The long hallway zigged and zagged. It was like a maze. That is insane. What the fuck kind of hallway is that? Except that there was only one way to go. The lighting was inconsistent at best, and the air felt thick and stagnant. The hell is this place? Kenzo asked. Mr. Kambayashi shook his head. I'm not sure myself. Perhaps someone was trying to build a play space. The villa has gone through several owners, and the original blueprint no longer exists. Is that an iPhone? No. It's a Poco. Poco X5 5G. That's what it is, a Xiaomi. Original blueprint no longer exists. Eventually they reached... Oh, fuck, it's so hard to sit. My back problems. This is what it means to be a grandma, okay? A grandma at age 27. Eventually they reached the end of the hall, but all they found was an emergency exit. They made their way back to the recreation room where Mr. Kambayashi gave each group a key to a guest room and said he would be back the next day to see how things were going. Oopsie. The clack of the front door closing signaled the hunters to begin their work. Any sense of leisure was gone. The focus and tension were suddenly palpable. The 16 devil hunters were ready to take on the mystery of the disappearances. Gahaha, so it begins, Power assured herself that this would be a simple case. When she applied her genius intellect to the problem, it would be solved in moments. She could spare a few minutes to shoot some pool first. Listen up, everyone. Kenzo raised his hand to get the group's attention. He'd been a devil hunter for 7 years and considered himself a consummate professional. He'd survived some tough scrapes. As seriously as he took his work, he wasn't above thinking that a big team job was a chance to further burnish his reputation. I've got an idea. Since we don't know who or what we're dealing with, why not work together? Work together? Asked one of the other hunters, crossing his arms suspiciously. That's right, said Kenzo. These disappearances sound like the work of the devil, but we don't know where it's hiding. That's problem number 1. Sure we do. It's somewhere in this inn. Exactly. 1 wing for guest rooms, 1 wing for staff. Big rec room. And that weird-ass hallway that goes out to the back of the building. Floor plan's simple enough, but that's a lot of area to comb. That ain't all, though. The assembled hunters followed Kenzo's finger as he pointed toward the nearest wall. We can't be sure it isn't out there. Plenty of devils make dens in the wilderness and hit a place from outside. Gotta admit, you've got a point, the other hunter said. Amongst the group, there were nods of affirmation. That's why we need to cooperate. It's a waste of energy to scatter and search the place one by one. I say we split into teams and cover assigned areas. We'll keep in touch and gradually expand our search radius. Everyone pulls their weight, of course. This rec room will make a great base for... Kenzo was interrupted by a yell from the pool table. I saw that, Power. You moved the ball. Sore loser. You think I'd cheat? You better believe I think that. Hey, you kids, Kenzo shouted, louder than he meant to. He'd worked with devil hunters of all stripes and learned to get along with most, but these two were beyond him. They didn't demonstrate even basic courtesy. They had no sense of cooperation. For some reason, the girl was wearing a stupid top hat, and now they were goofing off and shooting pool in the middle of an extermination job. Denji and Power didn't even put down their cues as they turned to address the distraction. Is that pronounced cues? In English, is it pronounced like that? I'm not sure. What is it, Gramps? Denji asked. You're a noisy one, Gramps, Power added. I told you, I'm nobody's Gramps. Get over here and listen to what I have to say, both of you. This is important. Denji and Power exchanged a look. Denji grinned and said, Nah, we're good. Excuse me? I promised Miss Makima I'd get results. That doesn't mean playing nice and splitting the work with randos. I'm trying to make a living for myself here. Correct, said Power. Anyhow, no need to worry. The great detective magician will solve this case. You peasants have no part to play in my drama. I don't understand a word either of you is saying, Kenzo growled. He stopped short. Just a sec, did you say Makima? As in the chief cabinet secretary's personal devil hunter? Are you guys public safety? Huh? Oh yeah, Denji said offhandedly. His response sent a noisy murmur through the assembled group. The hunters of Public Safety Special Division were an elite force on the front lines of the devils. Civilian hunters held them in something close to reverence. They were said to exterminate devils others could barely touch. What's Public Safety doing here? Kenzo hissed. A hunter beside him said, You flunked out before you got to Public Safety, didn't you? Shut up, Kenzo snapped. I'll put my skills against theirs any day. Privately, he winced. He'd taken the hiring exam for public safety once and had washed out. The other man put his hand up and backed away when he saw Kenzo grip the hilt of his katana. Hey, my bad, man. But the kid's got a point. There are incentives on this job, and that pits us against each other. Team up with the wrong person and your life could be over. But wait. Kenzo's attempts to keep the hunters unified came to nothing. They started to head off in every direction. As he stood, thunderstruck, the shouts of the two pool players rang out behind him. That's the end. I declare this game over. Hey, I was about to sink that ball. I've got a case to solve. No more time for games. Screw that. You knew you were about to lose. This counts as my win, got it? Sure, I'll let the baby have his balls. Don't cry, baby. Who's crying here? Kenzo's fists clenched. How could these jackasses be in public safety? He demanded of no one in particular. He looked up, struck by a thought. Were they in public safety? Would a crack organization want anything to do with these ignorant, troublemaking youngsters? He didn't believe it. There had to be some other explanation for their ridiculous presence. Maybe I'll keep an eye on them for a while, Kenzo decided. Observation. That would be his watchword. How long do we have? Another hour. Okay, we can read for another hour. All right, Power declared, her hands on her hips. Enough relaxation, down to business, assistant. Stop calling me Dad. That, and I need a break after that game. With an exasperated shrug, Denji flopped down on a sofa near the bar. What a useless sidekick. From her pocket, Power took the magnifying glass she'd made Aki buy her along with the head. Aki just went along with it. Like, he just buys her stuff, like toys, just to appease her. That is... He's such a nice mom, honestly. Wait. She strode to the wall and pointed the glass at it. Observation is the door to the truth. That was Detective Magician's catchphrase. Something up with the wall? Kenzo asked as Power squinted at the whitewash. As far as Power knew, there wasn't. It had just been the first thing in front of her. But she wasn't about to let the audience know that. She turned to Kenzo with a cryptic gaze. I can smell it. The smell of mystery. Smell of mystery? Kenzo gave the wall an experimental sniff. Can't say I do. You think it's something only you can sense? Indeed. Some clues reveal themselves only to the greatest of detectives. Magnifying glass still in hand, Power headed toward the hallway that led to the front door. She knelt and examined the red carpet, picking at the fuzz. Why? Why not? Kenzo loomed behind her. Is there something going on with the floor now? Yes, the smell of mystery. You can smell mystery on the carpet? Kenzo bent down to look. Still doesn't make sense to me, but leave it to public safety to consider all the details. So true, Power grinned, arms spread wide. Observation is the door to the truth. Now you're talking sense, Kenzo said. The hint of admiration egged Power on. Mystery! I smell mystery! You don't say. As a great detective, I can sense this place is positively brimming with it. Go on. Observation! Observation is the door to the truth, Power announced once again. I get ya. Spurred by Kenzo's appreciation, Power, now very high on her horse, pointed the magnifying glass every which way as the two neared the entrance. A group of hunters was hanging out in the front hall. What are you guys up to? Kenzo called. We thought we'd have a look around outside, said one of the hunters, but we can't get the door open. Say what? Kenzo shoved past the man, grabbed the heavy doorknob, and gave it a good rattle. This looks like the kind of deal that locks on both sides. Guess our host accidentally locked us in when he left. Nothing to do but wait until he checks on us tomorrow, huh? That's suspicious as fuck. I'm just saying. Huh, that's the end of that then. The hunters shrugged and started to disperse when a voice called out. Windows? Up there? I smell mystery. Power brandished her magnifying glass at two picture windows over the front door. Unlike Kenzo, the other hunters ignored her proclamations. I say the smell of mystery positively oozes from... Hey! Power glared after the hunters. A feral growl rose in the back of her throat. Only Kenzo was left to admire her. So what are you investigating next? He asked. The investigation is over. Power turned on her heel. If there was no glory to be had that night, she might as well retreat to her room. Kenzo, however, understood her words differently. Over? Don't tell me you've already figured it out. Power stopped. Slowly she turned. Fixing Kenzo with a look of pure, guileless innocence, she said, But of course! I long ago undid the knot of this mystery. What? Are you serious? Seeing Kenzo practically dumbstruck soothed Power's hurt feelings. She all but skipped to the guest hall. She entered her surprisingly modern room to find Denji already splayed across the bed, snoring. Blast it! How can the assistant sleep while the detective is working? She demanded, bopping Denji on the head. She earned only a single lazy glance and a big yawn. What's the big deal? Denji grunted. If a devil shows up, I'll do my thing. But as long as you are waiting, there's no reason for me to bust my ass. Did you hear that? Something just made noise in my room. But as long as we're waiting, there's no reason for me to bust my ass. No way am I gonna waste a good bed. Power considered this. She crossed her arms and nodded. There's some truth to that. In fact, I was thinking the same thing. The two of them shared an unwavering loyalty to their appetites. Yeah, they do. Let me just see how many pages there are. Maybe we can. Oh no. I was like, maybe we can finish this today. Would be nice if we could finish this. But we still have more than double. No, not double, but like. Oh my god. We're on page 31. And there's 64 pages. Oh no, that's too much reading for me. That's too much letters and words and pages for a dumb little bitch like me. You know what I mean? I can't read that much. What am I? A scientist? An intellectual? I can't read that much. I need pictures accompanying my words. I can't just read words on blank pages. I'm not made for that. I'm not built for that. Denji's saying that in part 1 hits different with recent chapters. Wait, what did he say? Oh yeah, he's not gonna bust his ass. Yeah. When there is no devil. Yeah. Let's continue until page... let me see where we can stop. Okay. Page 35. And then we can stop for today, because honestly, that's just too much for me. It's a little boring for me, because I'm just reading and people are just listening, and like... It's like with anime reactions, they're also not my thing. They're boring. I just watch, and people just watch me watch. Like, I don't know. Anyway, in the next room over, Kenzo had his ear pressed to the wall. What's public safety figured out? He muttered. He'd done a full sweep of the building without turning up anything of note. The other devil hunters' searches had been equally fruitless, and now they were scrambling for ideas. It made it all the more conspicuous, and all the more bemusing, that the two public safety reps had hightailed it to their room. Again, something made noise in my room. Kenzo happened to have been assigned the room next to theirs, so he decided to keep an eye, or at least an ear, on their doings. He'd heard them talking about something, but things had been quiet for the last 10 minutes or so. The only sound that reached his ear through the wall was a faint duet of snores. They wouldn't sleep on the job, would they? He wondered aloud, looking at the wall with amazement. No, there has to be some mistake. He looked out the decoratively barred window at the twilight sky. If there was a devil lurking somewhere, it would most likely be active at night, prowling under cover of darkness. It occurred to Kenzo that since he'd arrived at the villa, he'd felt the oppressive presence of some unseen enemy. The other hunters must have felt it too, if only subconsciously. Would their nerves hold through the night? In a battle against the devil, an instant's inattention could be fatal. Can you smell the mystery in your room? Right. My nose is not as good as Makima's, or as Power's. I can't smell anything. Only my own fear. I swear to God, if books start falling off my shelf again, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna stay in my room. I have nowhere to go. Kenzo nodded with a sudden understanding. Whatever the two hunters in the next room had learned, they decided to rest up for the coming battle. It was a bold strategy, but a wise one. He shouldn't have doubted that public safety knew what it was doing. Well, he wasn't going to be left behind. He'd piggyback on public safety's idea. Kenzo set the alarm on the bedside clock and, feeling proud of himself, climbed into bed. He awoke 3 hours later as the hands of the clock neared 9. It was dark outside, and the pin-drop silence made every tick of the clock's hands land with a thud. Kenzo felt lighter after his nap. Clearly, he'd made the right choice. He pressed his ear to the wall. All he heard was snoring. He wondered when, exactly, the public safety reps were planning to leap into action. They must have something up their sleeves. Well, he wouldn't let them get the jump on him. Okay, bring it on, Kenzo said softly. I'm prepared for anything. He felt centered, ready. He tried to keep his breathing low as he waited for the moment. He could wait as long as it took. As it turned out, it took until his room was full of birdsong and the rich light of morning. He was just standing there in a fighting pose all night, just waiting for something to happen. As it turned out, it took until his room was full of birdsong and the rich light of morning. Then, at last, he finally heard the door to the next room open. They just slept all night. Kenzo's bloodshot eyes went wide. He'd spent the entire night crouched at his door, katana at the ready. I can't do it. I can't parse their moves. Nothing makes sense. Are we even following the same agenda? Interrupted sleep had left Kenzo in a daze. He couldn't remember the last time he'd felt so off his game. Nonetheless, he rushed out of his room to meet the 2 public safety agents. Howard gave a big, satisfied stretch. It's a fine morning. Wow, I slept the crap out of that night. A fancy mattress puts things on a whole other level. Denji stretched too, then stopped and put a hand on his neck. Hey, Power, you sucked my blood again, didn't you? Oh my god. How many times does she do that? LMAO, this Kenzo dude is sure an interesting side character. I hope he survives the spin-off. Reminds me of Arai in the sense that he had the drive, but not any talent. Rest in peace. Yeah. I hope he survives too. He just put so much faith into these 2 idiots. It's amazing. I don't know what you're talking about, Power said earnestly, wiping her mouth. Wiping her mouth! Kenzo lunged at the pair, fist raised. You two! What were you thinking? Why would you sleep through the whole night? Huh? You need something, Gramps? No. Never mind. Kenzo's hand slowly fell to his side. He couldn't criticize them without admitting he'd spent the night eavesdropping through the wall. The public safety agents headed for the kitchen, where they were soon enmeshed in new arguments. Hey, there's only 5 of the bean buns. There are bean buns? I love beans. I gotta try bean buns. There's only 5 of those bean buns. You can't take all of them. Gahaha, the early bird gets the worm. The other devil hunters began to filter in, all of them obviously fatigued, rubbing their eyes and snarling at each other. To Kenzo, it was clear that the tension was getting to them. Geez, I ran around all night and nothing happened. Is there really a devil here? Maybe it got scared and ran off with its tail between its legs when it saw all us hunters show up. Screw that. If it's gone, so's our reward. As the group drifted towards the recreation room, another hunter rushed in, his face pale. Hey, anybody here bother to do a head count? Without anyone noticing, half the devil hunters had vanished. Should we continue reading? I mean, if there's 16 of them and now it's only 8 left, you would notice, right? Like, that's so obvious. I kind of want to continue reading, but I also kind of don't want to. Because it's my eyes, my concentration is fading already. And my voice is leaving me too. I don't know what's up with today. My throat is hurting. I can't talk a lot. Maybe let's just keep the rest for next time. Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, 30 more pages. That's for next time. We read around 30 pages today, and we're gonna read 30 pages next time. I think that's a good balance. So we stopped at page 35. And it's a good, what's it called again? Cliffhanger. So everyone can come back next time. So next Tuesday, we're gonna read the 2 new chapters, last week's chapter and next week's chapter of Chainsaw Man Part 2. We're gonna read those. And then afterwards, we're gonna continue reading this. The buddy stories, okay? Sounds like a good plan, right? Alright, then this is it for today. Thank you for coming. My eyes are so dry, they're so hurting. I'm not used to reading that much on this screen, and it's just, there's not even a picture. So anyway, thank you for coming today. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. I hope to see you next time too. Honestly, I was already asking myself, when would I read this? Because I have no fucking time. But I can just read them on my stream. I can just make time on my stream for this. So then I can say, oh, I read a book in my free time. I actually can read things other than manga. I can read books too. So even though it's just short stories and like the letters are pretty big. And it's only, how many pages? Let me see. It's just 215 pages. But still, it's pretty fun story though. Reading Power again. Yeah, we're meeting Power again. Thanks, Elda. See you next time. Thank you too. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed yourselves and have a nice day, evening, or night, wherever you are. Bye bye.